approximation method, that is a VAM. As you know that when we start to find the solution using Google's approximation method, we need row difference and column difference. Okay, so those row difference and column difference is called as a penalty. So let me start to find the penalty from first row. So when we consider my first row, first of all we should have to check that where is the two minimum values. Okay, where is the two minimum values from my row first. Okay, in my row first there are two minimum values, that is a 13 and 16. 13 and 16. If we find two minimum value, you should have to find out the difference between these two values. Okay, so what is the difference between 16 and 3? If you minus 13 from 16, then you will get value is equal to 3. So this is my first penalty. Okay, now check that the second row. This is my second row. So out of this second row, again find out two minimum values. Where is the minimum values? Yes, this is 14 and 17. 14 and 17 are two minimum value. So now find out the difference between 17 and 14. When we minus 14 from 17, then we will get 3 as our penalty. Okay. Again, check our third row. From third row, again find out the minimum two cost, minimum two values. Where is the minimum two values? This is my 18 and my 27. Okay, if I find out the difference between 18 and 17, then you will get
9.
the penalty. Okay, so what is the value? Yes, 9. Yes.
9. 9.
So 9 is my this penalty. Okay. So as you know that key, we almost complete the task related with the row. So we almost find out the row differences. Now check that column. So find out column differences. As you know that in this column there is a two minimum values. First is a 17 and another one is a 21. Okay, if you find the value, that means a 21 minus 17, then you will get difference is equal to 4. Okay, so this is my first column penalty. Okay, again check that second column. Okay, again check second column. So you can get difference between second column. So this is my second column, and out of this second column, 16 and 18 is my minimum value. Okay, 16 and 18 is my minimum value. So when I find the difference between 16 and 18, that value is equal to 2. Okay, now check third column. Okay, so this is my third column. In that third column, there is a two minimum value. First one is a 14 and another one is 18. So find out difference between 14 and 18, that is equal to 4. So 18 minus 14 is equal to 4. Okay, now again find last column. Okay, so out of this last column, 13 and 23. Okay, 13 and 23 both are minimum value. So if I find the difference between 13 and 21, it will be 10. Okay. So now check that where is your maximum penalty? Where is our maximum penalty? So I get that my maximum penalty is equal to 10. Okay. So my maximum penalty is equal to 10. So this penalty is related with this column. Okay, so check that this column, total column. So out of this column, you should have to find out the minimum cost. Where is the minimum cost? And when you get minimum cost, then you can allocate your supply or demanded value to this minimum cost sale. Okay, so out of this column, first of all we should have to find out where is the minimum cost. So as you know that 13 is a minimum cost. Okay, so I select this cell. I select this cell for my further allocation. Now the task is that we should have to check that the supply available for this cell and demand for this cell. Okay, supply available for this cell is 11 and demand for this sale is equal to 15. So supply is a minimum. So whatever minimum value is there, we should have to apply here. Okay, so 11 I apply from my warehouse A. So warehouse A is now supply remain 0. Okay, now demand for my market S is for 15 unit, but I only provide 11 unit. So 15 minus 11, remaining demand for my market S is now 4. Okay, now you know that when we fulfill total supply or total demand, that time we should have to remove that cell or column from our consideration. So this row which is belong to warehouse A now remove from our consideration. Okay, so we can't consider that sale for further calculation, further row differences and further allocations. Okay, now again find with the remaining part. So first of all check that what is our remaining part. Okay, so two rows remain for calculation. Okay, now we should have to consider only these two rows. Okay, so first of all find out the row difference. If I consider my first row, okay, this is my first row now for second row difference. So out of this row, first of all check that the minimum value. Where is minimum value? 14 is a minimum value and 17 is also minimum value. So 17 minus 14 is equal to 3. So write down here row difference. Okay. As you know that first row is removed from our consideration. That's why we put here dash. Okay. Why? Because we should remove that row from our consideration and uh, we can't find out the penalty for this row also. Okay. Now for third row. Check that this row, where is our minimum value? My minimum value is 9 here. Okay, now check penalty for column. Okay, now this column contain only two values, 17 and 32. So if I find 32 minus 17, then I'll get difference is equal to 15. Okay, so write down here 15. Okay, if I find out the penalty for this column. So 18 is equal to, oh sorry, 18 is my minimum and 27 is my minimum. Only two values remain there. So when I find 27 minus 18, so I'll get 9 is equal to my penalty. Okay. Yes. Now check that penalty for third column. So 18 minus 14 is equal to 4. Write down 4 here. Yes. And for last column 23 and 41. So 41 minus 23. So what is the value? 41 minus 23 क्या आता है? 41 minus 23 value बताइए.
18.
Yes. So write down 18 here. Okay. So check that where is the maximum penalty. Again, maximum penalty is related to my column number 4. Okay, this is my maximum penalty. So again, I select this column, same column. Okay, so check that in same column, where is the minimum value? Now there is two minimum value only. There is only two value, 23 and 41. So out of these two value, first of all, we should have check that where is the minimum value. Okay, so my minimum value is a 23. So I select this cell for further allocation. Okay, now check that supply and demand available for this sale. Okay, supply available of 13 unit and demand for this sale is only for 4 unit. So what is the minimum? My demand is minimum. So I provide total demand. Okay, so total demand becomes 0 for my market. Yes. Okay, now from where I supply 4 unit, I supply 4 unit from my warehouse B. So minus 4 unit from 13. So remaining unit available from warehouse B is only 9. Okay. So now check that here demand for market S becomes 0. That's why again I remove market yes from my total consideration. Okay. Now I delete my market yes. So column related to yes from my further consideration. Okay, now again check that where is our remaining value, where is our remaining matrix. Okay, so this is my remaining matrix. My matrix contain first row, second row, and first column, second column, and third column. Okay, so that much of value remain now from my total matrix. So consider your first row. First row contain 17, 18, and 14. So where is your minimum value? My minimum value is 14 and 17. So find out the difference between 14 and 17. It is also 3. Write down 3 here. Okay. Now check that second row, 32, 27, and 18. So where is my minimum value? My minimum value is 18 and 27. Okay, so when I find the difference between 27 and 18, it is 9. So I write 9 here. Now check that first column. Okay, now my first column contain two values, that is 17 and 32. Okay, when I find the difference between both value, then my difference is equal to 15. Okay, I write 15 here. Again, I check for second column 18 and 27. Okay, difference between 18 and 27 is equal to 9. Again, I write here 9. Yes. Check third column. Difference between 14 and 18 is equal to 4 only. Right here 4. Okay. Now we get all penalty. Okay, all penalty. You know that this column is removed from our further calculation. That's why put here only dash. Why? Because it is removed from our further calculation. So out of those penalty, first of all, you have to check that where is the maximum penalty. Okay, so maximum penalty is 15, which is related to column number 1. This is my maximum penalty, which is related to column number 1. Okay, now column number 1, you have to check only the value from column number 1. So column number 1 have only two values, 17 and 32. Okay, so from 17 and 32, you have to check that where is the minimum value, 17 or 32. So as you know that key 17 is a minimum value. So I select this cell for further allocation. Okay, now check that the demand and supply available for same sale. Okay, supply available of 9 quantity. Demand for this sale is for only 6 unit. Okay, so what is the minimum? My demand is minimum. So I apply total demand here, that is a 6. Okay, and put here 0. Why? Because I fulfill total demand for my market P. So it becomes 0. Now from where I provide total 6 unit? From warehouse B. Actually warehouse B contain 9 items, but out of those 9, if I supply total 6 units, so remaining unit from remaining unit first, warehouse B is equal to 3 now. Okay, so as you know that when we fulfill total demand for market P's demand now 0. Okay, so you have to remove market P from our further calculation, further consideration. Okay, so I put one line over here. Yes. Okay, now check that your remaining part. Where is my remaining part? My remaining part is now that much only. Okay, my remaining part contain only 2 rows, and 2 rows, 2 columns are available. Okay, so first row, if I consider my first row, there is only two values, 18 and 14. So out of 18 and 14, if you find out the difference between 18 and 14, so you will get 4 as your row penalty. Okay, so here 4 is the difference between 18 and 14. And if I consider a second row, there is a two minimum value, that is a 27 and 18. and the difference between 27 and 18 is equal to 9. So write down 9 here. Okay. Now check the column. Okay. So first column, there is a two value 18 and 27, and when we find the difference between 18 and 27, the value will be, and 18 is a two value only. So difference between 18 and 14 is equal to 4. So write down here 4. Okay. Now check that where is your maximum penalty. As you know that the first row is also removed from our calculation, and first column also remove, and now fourth column also remove. Okay. So whatever penalty we find, so out of those penalty, find out maximum or largest penalty. So in a row there is a 9, and in a column there is also 9. So you have now rights to select any maximum penalty. Okay, you can select this 9 also, or you can select column 9 also. So as per your requirement, or as per your choice, you can select any maximum penalty for further allocation. If suppose I select this 9, so I should have to consider total row. Okay, this row. So this row contain only 27 and an 18 value. 27 and 18 value. Okay, so out of this 27 and 18, I should have to find out where is the where is the minimum number. Okay, so minimum number is 18. So that's why I select this cell for further allocation. Okay, now first of all, you should have to check that the supply available for this cell and demand for this cell. Okay, supply available is a 19 unit, and demand for this unit, this sale is equal to only for 12 units. So 12 is a minimum. So I can provide total 12 unit in this sale. When I provide total 12 unit in this sale, so first of all, I should have to remove this total demand for market R. Why? Because I fulfill all demand which is needed for market R. I fulfill all. Okay. Now from where we provide those demand? From warehouse C. Okay, so warehouse C contain total 19 values, 19 items, but out of 19 I provide 12 items. So remaining item for my warehouse C is equal to 7 only. Okay, now check that if you fulfill demand for your R market, so R market is now removed from your consideration. Okay, so it is not considered for your further allocation. So remove this column. Okay, remove this column from your consideration. Okay, now check that your remaining part. What is your remaining part? Yes, my remaining part contain only 18 and 27. 18 and 27. Okay, so if 18 and 27 is remain, so if I consider first row, okay, first row contain 18 value only. Now how to find the difference? In this case, write down 18 here. Okay, because there is no second row to find out the difference. So write down 18 here. Okay, and check your second row. In second row, there is only 27. So write down 27 here. So in this way, we find out the last penalty for our row. Okay, again check that the penalty for column. There is a two value 18 and 27, so it's possible to find out the difference between both two values. Okay, so here 9 is my penalty. As you know that this first row is removed from our consideration, first column also removed from our consideration. Now third row third column remove from consideration, and fourth column also remove from consideration. Okay, now check that where is the maximum penalty. My maximum penalty is equal to 27 now. Okay, now select this row. In this row, there is only one value, that is a 27. So you can select 27 because this is only a single value. Okay, now check that available.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, now check that supply available of 7 quantity and demand for this seal is equal to 10. So what is the minimum? my minimum is equal to 7. So I can apply here 7 quantity. Yes. Now, when I supply total 7 quantity here, so first of all, I should have to remove total 7 item from my warehouse C. Okay. Now it becomes 0. Okay. From where I provide, for which market I provide that 7 unit? For my Q market, where the demand is for 10 unit. Okay, so if I fulfill total demand of 7 quantity, then remaining demand for this sale is equal to 3. Market Q, so demand is now only for 3 unit. Okay, now check that if we fulfill total supply of our market C, then you should have to remove this total column, total row from our consideration. Okay, so remove this total row from our further consideration. Row, single cell. Okay, single cell remain only. So out of that single cell, you should have to select that cell only. Why? Because it is a last cell. So check that the demand and supply for this cell. Supply. Now your solution is a balanced solution. Why? Because supply is equal to demand. Already we find out that supply is equal to demand, है ना? क्योंकि यहाँ पर 43 था, supply is equal to 43 था, and demand is also is equal to 43. So whenever supply is equal to demand, that time our solution is a balanced solution. Okay, so the number of allocation is equal to 1. This is my first allocation, second allocation, third allocation, fourth allocation, fifth allocation, sixth allocation. Okay, so number of allocation is equal to 6. So write down here 6. Okay, now next task, find out that m plus n minus 1. Okay, m plus 1 minus 1. So what is the m? What is the m? M is equal to your row and n is equal to your column. Okay, so what is your m? m कितने हैं देखो, हमारे m कितने हैं यहाँ पर देखते हैं हम. m is equal to 3 है. Okay, why? Because this is my first row, second row and third row. So m is equal to 3. Write down m is equal to 3 minus. Okay, now check that n. n क्या है देखेंगे हम. n क्या है? This is my first column, second column, third column and fourth column. Okay, so n is equal to 4. Write down here 4. One minute. Plus 4 minus 1. Okay, so find out 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. 7 minus 1 is equal to 6. Okay, that means the number of allocation is equal to m plus n minus 1. Okay, so basic feasible solution. Okay, if we fulfill this condition, then our solution is a basic feasible solution. Okay, so everyone got what is the basic feasible solution? Yes.
Ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Now again twist is there. Again twist is there. Okay. Now you find out that this is a basic feasible solution. पहले आपको क्या मिल गया? Our solution is a basic feasible solution. Now we should have to check that if our solution is a basic feasible solution, whether it is a non-degenerate basic feasible solution or not. What are the conditions for that non-degenerate basic feasible solution? First of all, our solution is should be feasible. Okay, our solution is feasible or not? Yes, it is feasible. Why? Because number of allocated cell is equal to m plus n minus 1. So we almost satisfied first condition. Okay, now second condition. it has exactly m plus n minus 1 allocated cell. Exactly, huh? Exactly. So it is exactly m plus 1 minus 1, no? 6 is equal to 6. Okay, so we fulfill second condition. Okay, now check that third condition. All the m plus 1 minus 1 allocations are independent in respect to their position. Okay, now what is the independent? First of all, we should have to check that independency or and dependency. Okay, so what is the meaning of dependent and independent? First of all, allocated. Okay, now check that if you start from this cell, if you start from this cell and try to connect all cell together. Okay, so if I connect this one, if I connect this one, if I connect this one, okay, now I connect this one, again I connect all these three, and again I go to my first cell. Okay, that means I make one loop. Okay, your allocation form one loop. If allocation form one loop, then it is called as a dependent. Okay, this is a dependent allocation. समझ में आ रहा है? This is a dependent allocation. अभी देखो मैं आपको independent का भी एक example दूंगी. This is a dependent allocation. I have total 7th allocation. So if I start from any point, if I start from any point, suppose I start from this point. Okay, so I try to connect all values, all allocations. So this is my first connection. Okay, then this is my second connection. Okay, now I can't connect in this fashion. Huh? We should have to connect using vertical and horizontal line only. You can't use any kind of cross lines, slanting lines. So I can connect this point only. Okay, and again I start from this point, I can connect this point. Okay, now it's very difficult for us. We can't connect in this fashion and we can't connect in this fashion also. So we stopped here. That means that solution unable to form a loop. है ना? In such case, we can say that this is the independent solution. Okay, this type of solution is called as an independent solution. Now we should have to check that. Okay, I write down here independent solution. Okay, this is independent. So I thought everyone understand. Try to check that whether our solution form loop or not. Okay, so if I consider or if I start from my first cell. Okay, this is my first location or first connection. From that cell again I try to connect. Okay, this cell, because I can't connect in this fashion, that's why I should have to go in this fashion. Okay, and whether I go to last item or I stop here and I can again go here. Okay, it's again difficult for us. If we go in this pattern, this is also difficult. If we try to connect in this fashion, it is also difficult. Why? Because in this fashion, if we connect, then there is only one way to go here or another way to go here. Okay, so this is not a dependent. Why? Because we are unable to connect all points together. Okay, this solution doesn't form any loop, so it is not a dependent solution. Okay, so that's why we can say that it is an independent solution. Okay, so first of all check that whether we fulfill all three requirement or not. It is a feasible solution. Yes, it is a feasible solution because we already checked that. Okay, it has a exactly m plus n minus 1 allocation. Yes, we check that m plus 1 minus 1 is equal to 6 and our allocated cell is also 6. Okay, so we fulfill second condition also. Now check that whether we fulfill third condition or not. All the m plus 1 allocations are independent in respect to their position. Yes, Now try to find out our total transportation cost. Okay, I try to remove all such things which already I explained. Okay, okay. So first of all, try to write the initial basic feasible solution which we obtain. Okay, so then we consider this is our x, this is our x. Okay, so whenever we try to write a solution, we should have to consider all cell is equal to x. Okay, so this is my first row x1. Okay, this is my second row x2. This is my third row, that is x3. Okay, again this is my first column, so I write here one, second column, third column, and fourth column. So write down first value. Okay, first value. Where it is first value? Your first value is here, where we allocate 11. Okay, so this is belongs to x14. Okay, this is belong to x14. है ना? So x11 is equal to 0, x12 is equal to 0, x13 is equal to 0, but x14 is equal to 11. So write down all four values. So first of all, I write x11 is equal to 0 because there is no any allocation. x12 is equal to 0 because there is also no any allocation. x13 is equal to 0, no allocation. But x14 is equal to 11. x14 is equal to 11. Okay, now write down second row. Okay, so x21. So first value is x21. So check here x2. This is my x2, which is belongs to first column. Okay, so x21 is equal to 6, x22 is equal to 3, then x24 is equal to 4. Okay, so write down all second rows value, that is x1 is equal to 6, x22 is equal to 3, then x23 is equal to 0. Yes, and x24 is equal to 4. Okay, everyone understand how I write all values? Okay, now check that third row. Okay, check that third row, that is x3. x3 1 is equal to 0 because there is no any allocation. x3 2 is equal to 7 because there is a allocation of 7. x3 3 is equal to 12. There is allocation of 12 values. Then x3 4 is equal to 0 because there is no any allocation. So write down all values here one by one. Okay, so what is my x31? x31 is equal to 0. Now check that x32 is equal to 7. Okay, now check that x33 is equal to 12. Okay, and x34 is equal to 0. So I write down my basic feasible solution. Okay, now find out the total transportation cost for my this example. So write down total transportation cost. As we know that how we find total transportation cost, when we find the total transportation cost, at that time we should have to write down your allocation with the cost of that sale. Okay, so 11 into 13 is there. Okay, then 6 into 17. Okay, plus 3 into 18 plus 4 into 23 plus 7 into 27 plus 12 into 18. Okay, so first of all check that whether you write all values properly or not. So 11 into 13, plus 6 into 17 plus 3 into 18 plus 4 into 23 plus 7 into 27 plus 12 into 18. So I write all values perfectly. Okay, so now this is our total transportation cost in rupees. Okay, so might be everyone understand today's example.